So welcome to India Market Review by Bangalore Investors Club. This is Dr. Musa speaking. For the week that has ended on 20th Feb 2015, we've had one holiday in between, Mahashivratri, and more or less all the events that we've been looking forward to over the last many weeks have come and gone. Things have basically settled down to just a couple of things. One is the budget on 28th Saturday, and the news today also is that the stock exchange is going to be open on that day for a few hours, so it'll have an opportunity to react to any policy decisions that are there. Then Sunday will be closed again, and then another set of things will happen on Monday once the fine print is out and people have had time to digest that on Sunday. And the next one is Greece. So Germany has refused any extension of the repayment request by Greece, and the proposal by Greece is no longer acceptable. So we'll have to see what happens. But interestingly, the European markets have really not reacted negatively to this at this point, as far as I know. So these are the two major events. If there's anything else that anybody would like to add, please feel free to do that. So does anybody have any news, any updates, any information, any large things that we have to look at? Oh yeah, good, excellent, Balki. It slipped my mind completely. So the coal auction, coal auction, right? So that's really gone off very well, right? And Jindal, I think, got its coal allotment back, but at the lowest price in the auction. So that's also made money for the government in a transparent manner. And the other thing apart from that, I think, is also the spectrum auction, right? I think 16,000 crores has already been deposited by various telecom companies, the government of India. So it's going to be interesting. I think that's on the 4th of March, if I'm right. So that's another event to look forward to, not the next week, the week after that. And lastly, not lastly, but then you have the Aero India going on. And well, I haven't been in touch with the news for a couple of days. So is there any big news on the Aero India side? Any big notable orders or anything announced? Does anyone have any info? Right, so a lot of the Aero India, or exhibition related deals are there, but how many of them actually get implemented and converted to actually commercial deals is usually a different issue altogether. So sure, so you've got some things being contributed here. So Aero India, we have Bharat Forge file deal, not sure what that is.
Yeah, I'll just
go ahead, yeah, go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking through basically the focus seemed to be in the aerospace. The Airbus, Bharat Forge had got a deal to provide forgings. Dynamatic Tech has been on a roll for the past. I mean, it's got a whole bunch of deals. The key thing for the aero, for this defense thing, is that there's going to be a lot of changes in this. There's intended to be a lot of changes in this procurement policy, like the way they go about the business deals, the offset. So that's something. I mean, if you're interested in defense and wherever the money is going to be flowing into, that's an important thing to keep track of. Zen Technologies, Access IT&T, and Zen Technologies, Access IT&T, they also won deals, and I think the stock prices responded accordingly. Okay. there are a whole bunch of the news. I'll probably send those later, but just keep an eye on this, the changes in the, whenever you read the news on this offset policy and changes in that whole procurement thing, right? It's going to be very important going forward to keep track of that, to know how this whole thing is going to play out. And over and over and over again, there have been a lot of companies like Pipavav and all. M&M wanted to get into it, and then I think Ninja Lotto was also, I think, competing for that. So a lot of the bigger guys are getting into it into a big way. They're really looking at expanding and tying up with foreign companies.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, got it. All right, cool.
Hello?
Yeah, can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. So I think once you made that list, maybe you can just send it out and then you can share it. Okay. So Munjal is expected to buy Pipavav, but there's already Mahindra and Mahindra which took a 20% stake in Pipavav, right? So I'm not sure, what the Munjals are going to do. Is Mahindra backing out or what? Oh, did not go through. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Really been out of the loop. Cool. So Munjal is buying Pipavav. So Pipavav stock. That's also. Alright. So that's something to take note of. Okay. Done. Any other news? Anyone else? Any updates, any trades, any particular stocks or any sectors, anything local, global that anyone wants to add? Feel free. No? Okay, so then let's get on with our analysis.
I just copy paste what I have on this thing, so whoever can take it.
Sure. Okay, what is this you pasted? This link from Business Standard? What is that about?
Deals, no? Have come across.
Oh, okay.
I did announcements on the defense. Just take a look if you know.
All right.
Okay.
So this is what Bobby sent. So Dynamatic Technologies has informed BAC that the company will be handing over the first made in India aft fuselage assembly and turnover bulkhead assembly to the Bell helicopter on February 19th. So that is yesterday. Right. All right. So this is our Make in India thing. Of course, not. This was cooking in the works for a long time, but now we have this. Okay. Alright, so maybe we can review many of these links that Bobby is sending towards the end, or if there's something really particularly important that we should be looking at. Yeah, go ahead, Bobby.
There's a lot. I mean, I really feel that maybe from the mentorship group, maybe when we meet next, we'll just consider different stocks, because there's a lot. I have a whole bunch of information.
Okay.
I'll
Sure.
put it across, and then we can just. That's where we want to focus on.
Got it. So 25 crore investment, Tyson Coop. 25 crore is not much, but that will just be the seeds thing, and so that will really do something. Okay, HCL plans to open up an aerospace university. Taneja Aerospace goes up 20%. To demerge Charterbiz, etc., etc. Okay. Yep, we should definitely do that. I've been working on some online stuff toward that mentorship thing. So I'll discuss that when we meet. So we had that yesterday session. The free to dream, make your 1 lakh, 2.37 crores, went up by 12, I think. So hopefully we'll be doing a lot more things online. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's get into our regular analysis, and we'll look at how the markets have behaved. So you have the Nifty in front of you. right? So after a good 7-8 days of moving up on the trend line, we seem to have hit a small pause today on the Nifty, well within that uptrending channel, of course. There's no doubt about that. And as far as the um, indicators, etc., concerned, well, there is really nothing special or different or divergence within that to suggest anything particular. But tentatively, we might be now having a a lower high. So overall, the market really hasn't done much after the ARP elections, Delhi elections, risen from about 2,500 to 8,900, 9,000. Next week is also expiry, so I expect 9,000 is going to be a pretty stiff resistance on the option chain side. Somebody could maybe just check and verify. And we have a red candle today, and yesterday we had a big hanging man, almost a confirmation, a sort of evening star pattern that could be forming here. So that's the overall Nifty. If we now come to Bank Nifty, so what we have is the Bank Nifty really pretty going flat even after the SBI results came out. Really nothing of a great recovery. Spinning tops, doji-like formations on the bank stocks the most of this week, and well, really nothing much to say. So that 50-day exponential moving average providing a lot of support, and looks like we are now in a range on the Bank Nifty at 18,500 on the lower side and 20,000 on the upper side. Those of you who are into option stuff, you could definitely look at writing the 20,000 call. I think it will make you definitely some money on Monday morning. Of course, could have done that today, and then you had the weekend time decay benefit. That the 20,000 call would probably be a good one to write, maybe even the 18,500. So 18,500 put and the 20,000 call, making it the short straddle that you could look at just doing for the next 4 days of trading. Remember that the budget is after expiry, so there's definitely the expiry you can look forward to. And to be expected, as the budget happens, that most of the market will just go range bound and sideways, and unless there's something specific to a company, probably don't expect any big moves till the budget is over. So this is the BSE Power Index, what you're looking at next, and this is clearly attempting to make a fresh high. This was the level to actually watch out in the past, and it has barely just gone there and just come off that. However, strength is very much there on the BSE power side, and we can definitely expect much higher levels, maybe 2400, 2450 to happen on BSE power, and that means about a 10% increase on the power side. The coal auction more or less, resolving things, and electricity production, etc. Probably more, there's much better visibility on that. So overall should be a good play for many months, if not quarters, moving forward, the power side. BSE Realty. So Realty Index has come to that trend line, and just, that's where we put it last time, and it's more or less just there. Maybe we can refine it a bit. Leave that, but it's right now consolidating, probably looking to see if the budget was to announce any SOPs for the realty space, any tax incentive for housing loans, maybe a broader, who knows, and then maybe we could look at going up. But as of now, excellent support on 1700, 1650, and some resistance at 1850. So not much to do on realty. And then we have CNX IT. So CNX IT continues to make life highs, but today big bearish engulfing. So wonder what happened on that front. But the the strength is most certainly still there in the IT stocks, absolutely no doubt about it, and not going to disappear anytime soon. So any correction on the IT space might be actually an opportunity to go long. The mid-cap index, so the CNX mid-cap index has just come to its life high again. Probably stay range bound here again till the budget is over, and then we'll probably see the next move. So I'm not sure what the firecrackers here are for. Somebody's getting married or something. Hopefully it should die down in a couple of minutes. Same picture with the Nifty Junior, sort of a double top, but most probably with a view that it will, it's most likely to go up once the budget is over. Till then, the coming week is probably likely to be range bound. So the energy, so diesel and petrol prices were raised by 82 paisa, I think sometime last week or 10 days back. So we got an upward revision after almost 6-7 months, I think, with the global crude oil prices also going up back to $61. And energy gone up and taking support at 8600. That downtrend line here is something that sort of gets reinforced. Need to really watch out. Until that downtrend line gets broken out, it will probably not be a wise thing to go long on energy. Then CNX Infra. Alright, so CNX Infra decisively above that downtrend line, broke out late last week and has definitely stayed above that. Thursday, yesterday was a nice correction, lower shadow taking support on that downtrend line, and today while we have a red candle, I would generally say that overall the market is headed up, right? Yeah. And CNX Pharma right at its life high. So sector after sector is at a interesting threshold, either at its life high and pausing there, or has broken out of a downtrend and is pausing there. The PSU banks, so mild recovery, but hanging on for dear life, looks like at the previous important life high support of 3865, but really would not say there is much recovery. Individual banks apart, overall the PSU bank space. So here you can see that this is the support from 2011 onwards. So we're talking about 4 or 5 years, and till so at this point, as you can see, taking really good support at a 3,875, 3,900 levels, until it either breaks down below 3,600 or breaks out above about 4,000 or 4,050. We can't really expect it to do much. All right. Then Nifty. So Nifty not expected to go above 9,000 next week, and unlikely to go below 8,500 in the next week. All right. BSC Auto. So recovery, but a pause now. Nothing much there again. Almost back to its life high, but somehow a sense of hesitation up there. Consumer durables, range bound. Capital goods. Alright, so again have gone up for the last 1.5 weeks, 2 weeks, but today has been stuck right there. Again, I am of the general opinion that this looks like a pause to me. The market is most likely to rise, and this is just a pause till the budget is over, and then we'll probably see the next move. So actually, you know what, I think you've got the whole week ahead to probably do a thorough review of the markets and look at what are the opportunities that one could look forward to trading or investing in once the budget is out. So very interesting that the FMCG had actually made a new life high this week and then again cooled off. This is definitely very interesting. Healthcare, that is also there. Pharma and healthcare not exactly the same, but more or less. BSE metals, okay, so more and more evidence that the metals are actually gaining strength. So this is something we've been talking about for many uh, weeks now, and you now have metals breaking through the 10,700 mark, just shy of that, but intraday attempted breakout and then it has come down. And you can see that yesterday, Thursday, there was this massive move after this tentative breakout. This is sometimes exactly how things happen. You can forget about the fundamentals and politics and news and all. Downtrend line, which has been there since last July, has been broken out on Monday, Tuesday tentatively, support taken, and then a big breakout. And now the next big move is whether it will break through from 10,700. Most likely that this would happen, which is the breakout will continue, and you probably had the end of the down move. A good time to enter into metals, I would say. Mid caps, we did that. So oil and gas, this one has some error. PSU index, just going sideways, really nothing much on it. And the small cap index also just sitting on its life high, a sort of triple top, quadruple top there, ascending triangle breakdown, but really hasn't gone through yet. And that's the Sensex, Bank Nifty. All right, so that's everything that we have, all the sectors over, and generally most sectors in a pause mode, many at their life highs with T-tops. Actually, this is not a double top in the truest sense, so that's why the quote. BSE metal index has had a good breakout from the downtrend line of from July 2014. All right. Okay, so this is one thing which is there, and every sector, whether it is auto or pharma or banks, or I think it's mostly wait and watch. Trade for the week ending 27th March, sideways market, mostly look to right options. All right. So this is what we would basically be looking at from a short-term trading perspective for 1 week, and for longer-term direction, I guess it's best to wait for the budget because, as we know, after the decisive AAP victory in Delhi, people are expecting that there could be a fallout on the proposals that are made in the budget, maybe some populist stuff or whatever, we don't know. So perhaps better to wait and look for real action and then take a call. Okay. All right. So remember that mostly the government is much better poised financially with the falling crude oil price and US recovering, and our foreign exchange reserves really healthy. So some points here, fiscally much better situation in India. So maybe I should actually put this later. Crude oil drop is still definitely there, and forex reserves at life high, right? So a lot of breathing room that the government has, and it will be interesting to see how they take advantage of these opportunities and these circumstances, right? So wait for the budget. So with that, let's look at individual stocks from the Bank Nifty space. So this is Aditya Birla Nuvo, right? So as you can see, after doing a 3-year sideways correction, it broke out in late 2013, came back down, tested the market even up to 2014, and that's when the big move has happened. And from 2014 lows to now, it has done almost a 70-80% up move. And this is one stock which has a lot of potential for a demerger. Remember that it has a lot of varied, it's more like a conglomerate, a small conglomerate rather than anything else. So we need to keep that in mind as a potential demerger story in the months and years ahead. But all that, leaving that aside, uh, the stock has taken support at 1700, taking resistance at 1850, and I would say that once this 1850 breaks, then more or less decisively we would see an up move quite rapidly, in my opinion, to 2000 rupees at least, right? Uh, okay. So while I've put this, Bobby has put up an interesting article from BBC, and that article basically says that Indian growth figures baffle economists, and this was posted on the 9th of Feb, right? So while GDP grew by 7.5% in October and December compared to the same period last year, um, right, there's some confusion regarding statistics after the way in which GDP figure was calculated was changed. Okay, so this is really interesting. So something about the slowdown, and there's more on the story, etc. So you can go read that. Just look for this in BBC News, India growth figures baffle economists, and you probably get some food for thought, right? So maybe we are not really as healthy as the government perhaps wants us to believe. Who knows? Governments are quite well known to do sort of fudging uh, to improve perception. All right. So Aditya Birla Nuvo, at a threshold, I would say 1700 is excellent support. From a trader's perspective, I would probably look at only on the long side unless the budget is really decisive in the bearish direction. But 1700 really good support, and once it breaks 1850, then very likely to go much higher, right? Very low volume, as you can see, after the up move late last year. Consolidation is what is most probably going on, and then you'll probably see a stronger move up. All right. Adani Enterprises very clearly heading towards its life high. Absolutely no doubts about that. So that's the double, triple top sort of, that is the 2009, 2010, and all of us who follow TA, we know that, so just to put things in perspective, 2014, most of in February, March, April, massive move from 200 to 500, and then a huge consolidation of 7, 8, 9 months, and then now the next move that is going from 500 to, or rather 450 or 500 to 750, most definitely on its way to going back to its life high of around 780, and once 780 breaks, I'm more or less confident it's going to break out. Big build up in volumes recently, right, in end of Jan, and that high volume is very much there in my opinion. There could be a cool off. There's definitely a divergence that we are seeing here in the RSI, a negative divergence, so that's not really very good news, right? So maybe there could be a correction, but any correction on Adani Enterprises should be used for uh, purchasing the stock and not shorting it. So could come back to maybe 650 levels. Yeah, 650 is a good possibility to 687. Worst case, I would say 600, and after that we would review. But once it breaks 780, then 1000 rupees is most definitely on the cards in Adani Enterprises. Adani Ports. So Adani Ports is back to its life high, right? Almost made a new life high in Jan, and it is at 330. So now going sideways, low volume. It's clearly a wait and watch game. Do nothing. The safest thing will probably be I think this is in the FNO side, but options liquidity is probably pathetic. Writing the 350 call or writing the 300 put or even the 310 put would be good examples or good opportunities. And once 350 breaks, then definitely Adani Ports is a stock to buy all the way to 400 at least. Apollo Hospital, so something happened today. Some volume is also there. Don't know what the trigger was, but definitely would be a buy with a stop loss below I would say below 1265. First target 1400 and then 1420, and then after that definitely much higher. Ashok Leland, alright, so back to its life high. This trend line has really served very well. More or less, I don't think we have to worry about results now. Most of the results of all the stocks have been out. Making an attempt to go higher, but just hesitating there, 70 psychological mark. Would not like to look at writing the 70 call. You never know where it could jump higher. But I think in the next 3-4 months, this stock could easily be at 100 rupees. Having said that, this is a massive one-way run-up, almost from, I would say, 15-18 rupee levels to 70 rupee levels without a large correction, in my opinion, or any meaningful correction. If you look at this on a weekly chart, we'll see that we've not had a multi-week correction of any significance except this sideways move. That's when it, one needs to take things with a little pinch of salt sometimes, because inevitably that multi-week correction is going to happen, and it's in that when it will be a good time to buy, and perhaps not right now. Okay, Bajaj Financial Services, please buy this on Monday. Alright, so going sideways, doing a sort of pivot around 1450 to 1500, and just making up its mind, in my opinion, to whether it wants to go up or not. Overall, I think it will most probably rise. Can put that as a stop loss, which is at around 1400, so only below that from a trader's perspective actually. And if you are an investor, definitely no question of selling this. All right, so this is Bajaj Financial Services. Next target I would say 1700, 1750, and then 2000. Bajaj Holdings, this is interesting, a sort of rounding top formation that we have here, and really no strength at all. So not sure what to make of this. Broke that life high of 2005-6 there, but not really able to do much after that. Even on the MACD here, you're just seeing that thing just drop, and even today it's a little risky. I would say if there are calls available, write calls, but really no reason at all to jump into this stock. Best to stay away and wait and watch. Alright, then Bank of India. So that's, after falling down, it's consolidated over the last week. Wouldn't say there's anything much happening. Would like to see a little, actually some more evidence before buying it. Might as well stay away. But these are the stocks that could fall a lot on budget day if there's something which the market doesn't like. So these are potential shorts that you should keep on your watch list, and 250 might be a good place for it to be shorted. Wait and watch. But if 220, 225 breaks down, then most definitely this is going to 200 rupees. So as of now, I would look at shorting the bounce in Bank of India rather than buying this. But this is a pretty significant double bottom sort of support. September last year, September, October last year, and Feb this year. So a lot of open water in between. And if this support holds as it has as of now, things are looking for now stable, but I would say that the overall sentiment would probably still be negative. You can see that the up move has not happened on really high volumes yet. Bharat Forge, so there you have it, announcements being made and the stock just going up and up and up. Also once it crossed that 1000 mark, psychologically just has gone up to 1280, on and on and on. Alright, so that is Bharat Forge. Okay. Biocon, very interesting. Biocon has a pennant, a very nice pennant, a very tradable opportunity here. There's a massive move it made on the 13th, from 420 to 450, and did that on exceptionally high volumes, and now it is consolidating with a bunch of long-term moving averages right in its path. Watch this if nothing else for academic reasons, and this is a flag in my opinion that is forming, and Biocon could move up more from here. So for say 415 to 450, you're talking about 30 rupees, 40 rupees. So we're talking about this first target at 475, and then 500 is definitely possible. So not only that, this is a 2-year support or 1.5-year support of 410 that Biocon has bounced off from. So actually a good trading opportunity. It is in the FNO list, isn't it, Balki? Right, so could give you some pretty good 10-15% profit on the DMAT, which could be a handsome profit on the futures side. Bosch making new life highs, results were good I think, and wow, what a pickup in volumes in the last few days, 2 weeks. So 51,000, 987,000, something is definitely cooking. Very, very unusual to see massive volumes at the end, or rather as it's moving up so sharply. Something is cooking, maybe the parent is taking over, whatever it is, but this is a massive move. In 2000 the stock was just 200 rupees, now it is 26,000 rupees. So wow, 100 times. Okay, so that is Bosch, and definitely should be bought. Any correction should be used to enter the stock. 25,000 is possibly a good support to look at. Canara Bank, again, a lot of weakness, just like Bank of India. However, some really good trading pivots here. If it crosses 430, 435, definitely buy Canara Bank all the way till 460, 470. And if it breaks 390, then definitely short Canara Bank, and probably at least till 350. So I'd look out very carefully for, I think, what the budget says, because the reason I'm talking about the budget and banks is that incentives and recapitalization, when I said incentives, I'm talking about incentives that the government might offer for capital growth, for investing, for say construction, and all that could help the banks have lesser of non-performing assets in the quarters ahead, and there might be some news on that front. On the other hand, if none of that happens, and let's say the expected credit offtake that could be expected with economic recovery, those hopes are dashed, then remember that the banks are actually sitting on stressed assets. That's why a lot of the public sector banks went down, and those stressed assets are not going to disappear overnight. They're going to be there on the books for many quarters. So I'm not talking about specific loans, I'm talking about as a system or a systemic risk which is still very much there. And if the budget is something on the negative side, then this could really fall till 350. So something to watch out on that day. Colgate Palmolive, as you can see, clearly going sideways. Erratic volume. This is really interesting. You don't see volume like this where it jumps up so sharply and then disappears so sharply, and then it's gone up again a little bit. Really tough to read the volumes in this chart. Probably just best to stay away, and one might even argue that there is perhaps a symmetrical triangle there. And once that breaks, then you will have direction as to what is likely to happen next. All right. So even if I take a conservative estimate, 1750 to almost 1950, 200 rupees likely to break out given the overall state of the market. 200 rupees from 1950, you're talking about 2150, you're talking about an easy 10%. So watch for that. And the only problem is that the volume picture is not giving us the sort of textbook description. This is real life. But overall, except for this one place in mid Jan or second half of Jan, I would say that the volumes, no actually, I was going to say volumes are supporting a bullish bias. I take that back. I think it's a little confusing state and just best left to wait for the market to resolve itself and then take a call. All right. Container Corporation, whoa, what happened today? Some news on Container Corporation would have been a lovely trade today. It's gone to 1650 and then probably all the way to 2000 also, but something really cooking. Find the news, there's some action, and probably should be bought on Monday. I doubt, maybe even if it comes to 1500 would be a wonderful buy, and then hold on to 1650, at least 1600, 1650, and then we will review after that, but definitely a buy on Monday. Compton Greaves, so filled green candle, interesting. Capital Goods should have ideally had a healthier picture in my opinion, but clearly doesn't have that. And this downtrend line still very much I think having its making its presence felt. So Compton Greaves is a buy only above 200. Till then, stay away from that. Okay. Cummins India, stuck. Cummins India stuck to its life high. Right, really nice ascending triangle. Very rare to get such textbook patterns. But that's almost about 50 bucks, 60 bucks. Something erratic here, but that apart, maybe some bulk deal or something like that. Relatively low volumes, waiting for it to break out, I would think. And once it does that, then you're probably going to see much higher levels on Cummins India. And once it does breaks out of, I think 1000 is the next target for Cummins India. And for those of you who could, again, I think another stock which is there in the FNO side, go long on futures with a stop loss below 875, and I would hold on to a target till 1000. Basically, since November last year, November, December, Jan, Feb, you've had a 4-month consolidation. I'm not expecting a small move to happen once it breaks out. I'm expecting at least 1000 and then probably much higher after that. Okay. Right. Or you could do that with a stop loss buy order with a entry price of 940 and then a tight stop loss at around 925 or thereabouts. Or even buy a, I don't think options will have much liquidity, but you could look at the March call option for Cummins if it is there. Just tell me if it's not. Dabur, okay, so Dabur's made a new life high. Wow, look at this. A stock that was even at the peak of 2003, 15 rupee stock is now a 265 rupee stock. Amazing. Okay, let's put another trend line here. The stock has definitely become a lot more erratic. So that is something to be noted. Volumes coming down. No hurry to buy this stock in my opinion at this point, but I think somewhere around 260. If it comes, then that will be the place to look at. Um, Consider buying it, but that could also be a rounding top at that time and might break down till 250. So no hurry now. We'll wait and watch. Divi's Lab. So interesting. Gone sideways for 3-4 months. A lot of pharma stocks doing well, but Divi's Lab at this point looking like a laggard, attempting to catch up. No volumes, that's a concern. Uh, and definitely a good resistance there at 1700 psychological number. Okay, so 1750 possibly, but once 1750 gets broken out, if it does that, then I think one should really look at buying it and hold on till the life high of around 1875, 1900. This sort of moves where a breakdown happens and then it recovers is like is a false breakdown, and this could definitely be some in quotes manipulated selling to take the price down, and then there's been some buying that happens, and who knows, we could see volumes now appearing to take it back to its life high. Exide India, I would say pass. From a trader's perspective, there's a nice stop loss at around 178. When once it crosses 188, 190, then very likely to go to 200. Federal Bank, so not a private bank, but definitely not showing strength at this point, and should not buy Federal Bank at all till such time that this downtrend is broken out. And though now the downtrend is going with low volumes, MACD might be doing a crossover, so that's interesting. And there's definitely a cluster of support at this 135 zone. You have a lot of these lower shadows sort of bouncing up from those levels. So wait and watch. If it breaks out of 145, then yes, or not even 145, I would say 144, you can buy it. If it breaks down below 135, even then may not be a, it will not be a good shot. 130 is excellent support, so somewhere at lower levels probably be a good time to buy, but for now wait and watch. Glaxo, so that's breaking down. Alright, so that's breaking down, has broken that yellow support line there at 3240. Would expect it to go to 3050, and no buying Glaxo at all till this downtrend line is broken out. As a matter of fact, the way it's looking, would really look at any bounce on Glaxo to be shorted, and could possibly, once it below 3150, 3050 is a very likely possibility. Glenmark, so going up on good volumes, good stock to perhaps buy on Monday. And the important thing about Glenmark, it's coming to its 2008 zone, and once it breaks that, as we have seen repeatedly, it's actually broken that. If so I would put Glenmark on the buy list for Monday. It broke that. That was the old support, right? Or rather the old resistance, took support on that and is now set to go back up. I would definitely put Glenmark on our buy list for Monday. Nothing to do with the budget, and is likely to go to 1000 rupees very promptly. I would even say that this is a trade which is worth doing in the futures side, and you could put a stop loss below that level, like a tweezer's bottom, below 358, 360. However, up to 340 there's good support, so it's going to be tough to do that. And I don't know if it's there in FNO, but if it is, I'm sure the options liquidity is pathetic. Buying the 760 put and then going long on the on the futures, I think would be a good trade for March. Okay, March contract. GMR Infra, so after going to 20, came back to 16, tested that, and is now at 19. It is consolidating and will take its time and will probably go to 20 in one swift move, and after that we're going to see much higher move, still 25, right? Again, consolidation going on. Very good support at around 750, 1750, 1730, and once, like I said, once it's above 1950, 20, 1950 or 20 rupees, then 21 and then 24. I think this is there on the FNO side, and those on the FNO thing can look at how you might want to take that position on the FNO side. Godrej Consumer Products, whoa, what happened today? So being whacked down to its old life high. Okay, a little unusual in my opinion to be beaten down so sharply like that, but not happening on volumes. Probably some sentimental issue going on in the stock, and that's where it is headed back. I would say buy it all the way till 1070, and once it turns back, then 1200 would be the next target. GSK consumers, whoa, again sideways move, tough to read. These are pretty erratic stocks sometimes, and they will really test your patience. Definitely not a trading stock, but from November, December, Jan, Feb, it's been sideways, and once it breaks 6,000, then could go up much higher. In the Petro, again consolidating, really good support at 585. Okay, and I think now that the country has more or less gotten used to this fuel revision, the prices on these stocks will probably hold, the profits EPS on these stocks will probably hold, and I don't think there's really anything very adverse to expect on these stocks. So now it's a question of looking at their balance sheets, their business models, their business plans, and see how things will change going forward. Also remember that with the private sector guys, Reliance, SR, opening their petrol bunks one after the other, I'm sure you would have read about that. There is definitely a lot more competition that these companies will have, and it will be interesting to see whether, they are already starting to lose market share, but how that will affect their balance sheet and their future will be interesting to watch. IDBI, something happened in IDBI, and it is at a very critical level, that 78-80 zone. Some massive move today, obviously on massive volumes. Again, probably some news, right? And we'll have to see what this is about, but there's definitely some news there. Once it is above 80, which is definitely likely to happen on Monday, I think, then 100. I would put IDBI as also one of the stocks. There were some really strong ones. What I remember, if you remember, please let me know. Glenmark, IDBI, I would say are strong buys, right? What else did I mention? If I'm forgetting. If I did anything particularly strong opinions on those, I said some like buy this on Monday. Okay, if you remember, let me know. I'll put it on the list. Okay. Idea, leave it. Don't like stocks like this. September to February really done nothing, pretty erratic. And there's of course the telecom auction coming up in 2 weeks, so we'll take a call on these after that. Having said that, technically at a good support of 150, good psychological number, may not break below 145 for now, but that's the level I would watch at this point, 138, and if it comes there, maybe review that, but for now it's stay away from this. If there is liquidity on the option side, then I think writing the 170 call and the 140 put would be a good idea for the next week. Indian hotels, again, really not doing much till it breaks 125. Really nothing to do. IndusInd Bank, okay, so that is definitely in a better state than Federal Bank, stuck there, and I think itching to go towards 1000 rupees. Slight pickup in volume today. I definitely say IndusInd Bank is something to look at buying. IndusInd Bank. Yeah, so those were buys, and then potential shorts, I would say one was Bank of India and the other one is Canara Bank. Okay, but these are all, we have to wait for the budget and then we can take a view after that. Infratel, again nothing much happening, stuck at that top, but overall nice uptrend. This is like the outermost level of that uptrend, and we'll take it from that. Okay. Ingvaisha Bank. Wow. Okay. So I don't know when is that merger with Kotak happening, right? So right now looks like it's not doing much, going sideways, and once it breaks out of 1000 will be the time to buy, or if it comes somewhere towards 875 and all. Yeah, so no comments on that. JSW Steel, so we said metal index doing well and well on yesterday. JSW Steel was definitely one of the big jumpers on that, right? Yeah, most definitely a lot of strength. There is this resistance to consider in the days ahead, and until and unless it can break 1080, might be a little tough for the stock. 1000 is now an excellent support. Any cool off at all should be bought. Today was actually a buying opportunity, and on Monday could buy it as close to 1000 as possible. So all right, LIC Housing Finance, well, again, housing companies, I think are going to wait for the budget, but 500 psychological mark, clearly the thing to look at. You might actually want to look at maybe horizontal spread on LIC Housing Finance. That is, you short the 500 rupee call for Feb and go long on the 500 rupee call for March. So that will be a horizontal bullish spread and could pay up handsome dividends in the whole of March. LIC Housing Finance, bullish horizontal spread. Okay. M&M Finance. Ooh, what happened? Big drop. Was there some results or something? And there's a big gap here. Does anybody have any knowledge of this? Some big time selling happened. It's taking support around the 250 mark, and then we'll have to see, right? So for now, I would say 250 is a good support area, actually all the way from 2013. So must have been some sort of a major disappointment or some news on this stock. Go have a look at it, because what caused it to go down and what happened with the gap must be a bad results, and it got re-rated down from 300 rupee odd to 250. So that's about a 15-20% drop, and the support at this area is pretty strong. It's a multi-year support. Not the first stock to go out and buy on Monday. It is definitely something that should be on the watch list for a potential buy at say even 230, 240 levels. So technically it's not a buy right now. McDowell, a sort of flag but a little too long for comfort. Moved up on good volumes. Something is happening here. It's probably much better to, so that would be one level to watch out for, and the other one would be that. Okay, so let's see how that goes. Emphasis, big move. So Emphasis hasn't moved much as a company. Gotten really stuck in us, in this. The other IT stocks have really done well. Basically doing outsourcing work at the back end for, I think, HP and all. That's what I'd heard. And this is an interesting move. But you know what? All said and done, I would say stay away from these stocks. Fundamentally, no great business or no great transformation. So why bother? OFSS. So still in that symmetrical triangle, as you can see, not broken out. And you can actually just extend this without any change at this point. So the upper boundary needs some redrawing, and that's perfectly alright in technical analysis, just to remind everyone. And just wait, let's see, and let's look at the volumes. Erratic, so big deals happening here, so it's a little tough to look at volumes, but yes, if you can just concentrate on this part, the volumes are clearly coming down, and breakout or breakdown definitely on the cards, and it will be a worthwhile trade to follow it. Could go down all the way to 3150 very quickly, or if it breaks out on 3450, then I would say 3550, 3600 will require a lot of swift trading. This move here is on completely low volumes. Oil India, what happened? So again, the importance of listening to trend lines, and just cracked on 13th and on higher volumes, and then I just kept going down. I would guess that that's the result day. Must have come out with results, bad results. Of course, with crude oil falling to be expected from 670, stock is now at 500 levels, and could easily fall to 480, and who knows, even 450 in my opinion. Okay. Petronet, okay, so going down on low volumes, wouldn't be in a hurry to buy it, we'll stay away from it. So basically setting up the stuff for trading after the budget, looking at lists which could both be profitable, a long list and a short list. Power Finance Corporation, stay away. Too many candles going too much sideways, shadows, no volume. So it looks like one of those sessions where not much excitement in the market. So Ranbaxy finally breaks out of that 650 mark, and if you had put an alert for it and had put a stop loss triggered by order, you would easily be making, I would say, from 675 to 700. Not a great amount of money, but I think this is a multi-year breakout. Yes, all right. So this is a multi-year breakout from 2004. So this is like 14 years. Fundamentally, there's a high there. There's a high in 2008. So technically, this stock could easily be going to 1,000 rupees. And let me put that Ranbaxy multi-year breakout of 11 years. I would say buy, target 1,000 and nothing less. RCOM, stay away, stay away, stay away, stay away. It go, for all you know, could go back to its life low at 46. It's at 72. You don't want to be having this stock in your portfolio at all. Right. So not tough to find a good trend line in falls like this, right? But no question of buying it. As a matter of fact, it goes 75, which it did in Tuesday. We have placed 2 short. Next target on the short side 67 and then lower. REC Limited, so 340, 350 sideways it is. Once it breaks 350, then it will go to a higher level. Right now, selling the 350 call, selling the 350 put, sorry, the 300 put, probably pathetic liquidity would probably be a good idea. Reliance Capital, so that's not a really good symmetrical triangle. It has just fizzled out of that, which means that it's really of no use to track this. So let's remove that. Again, 500 call, write the 430 put, or even the 490 call, 480 call also I would say. And maybe go long on the 500 call for March. All depend on the budget actually. Okay. Okay, so good support here, double bottom at around 430. If it does come there, then maybe a potential buying opportunity, but wait till either the breakout here or it comes to 440. This is in no man's land. Our power, okay, so made a new life low. Wow, that's an achievement. Okay, made a new life low. I'll just put another line there. And then this need not be so thick. And then has gone up really well yesterday. Good volumes could be. So the BSE Power Index was showing strength, and this is really, you know, the underest dog of the underdog stocks in the power side, I would say. At least that what, or at least amongst the stocks that we look at. And it would really be useful, I think, to do a good fundamental analysis of this stock before we consider buying it. So here is bullish divergence, which has actually continued. I'm not sure when we saw this stock last, but it was definitely many weeks back, and that bullish divergence is still very much there. So if you have a strong heart, and more than that, actually that's the first criterion, if you have a strong heart and a hell of a lot of patience, then you could consider buying the stock. It will test your patience like hell, but maybe 6 months, a year down the line, this could definitely be at 80. That's a good 50%, 30% move from here. But like I said, we'll test your patience. Steel Authority of India, best to probably already have it in your portfolio, Gyani. I wouldn't agree with the fact that there is no choice. If you have it, you could consider selling it off even at a loss and buying the stocks that we discussed here, which will probably make you money faster. Your Glenmark, IDBI, Ranbaxy, LIC, your portfolio will do really well. And for those of us who might be in similar situations with stocks like that, I would just say something else, which is sell at least half of them, and whatever you sold, put that half in the better stocks like what we've discussed here, and see how that half which you sold works and how the half you did not sell works, because you need to get this conviction for yourself. Or of course you can go back and look at the IMRs and look at the discussions and take the actual measurements of actually percentage moves, and you take the decision on what's actually better, right? So sometimes it's just our power going back to maybe break even a profit will take much longer. So what happened to Siemens? So Siemens broke a life high 2007. So this is exactly, so excellent that we're looking at Siemens just after we looked at our power. What a contrast. And this is what I mean. There are a lot of stocks we discussed today which are at similar life highs, Ranbaxy being a case in point, and see what happens once it does that. It went from 1050 to almost 1300, a good 20% move. You're expecting, I'm not saying 20% move can't happen in our power, but this sort of a move actually from 900 to 1300 is just amazing. And I wouldn't say anything fantastic on volumes, but technically this is exactly what happens. There's no sign of weakness at all, I would say. This will probably become a very good support sometime in the future, and that's the life high for now, and I would definitely not be surprised to see much higher levels. Having said that, one of my favorite approaches is that waiting for stock. If you miss this move, it could go to 1500 before it turns around, but at some point it is going to come back to 1100, 1050, at which point it will really be a good time to buy that stock. It will test that support, or rather resistance, as a support sometime in the future, quite possibly this year. Sriram Transport Finance, so that's again gone up, made a new life high. So that was a life high that was being made for some time. There was a big deal. Do you remember some big guy bought into Sriram Transport Finance? We discussed it in our mentorship group. I don't remember who. Does anyone remember? And at what price the stock was at that time? If anyone remembers, whoever that guy was, he bought several lakh shares. It was a bulk deal, promoter sort of deal. And well, that guy is easily making 10-20% on the few hundred crores or 1,000 crores that he invested in this stock. And with the expected recovery of the economy, commercial vehicle sales could recover. I think there's some proof on that, and this would be fundamentally a good stock to be, fundamentally, really generally speaking, to be looking at with 1500 with the next possible target. Tata Chemicals, so again, lifetime breakout from 2007. We've got quite a few. Wow, okay. So Tata Chem, multi-year breakout, and which was the Siemens. All right. So yeah. So one thing about Tata Chemicals, I'm not sure what their raw material input is. If it is oil and gas related, fertilizers and things like that, then definitely very good fundamentally for this company. And if the government comes out with incentives for agriculture and stuff like that, then I think at the very least you're looking at 500, which is not very far off. It's just another 10% up from here, and once after that, much higher. So yeah, it's there. Tata Chem. Tata Global, stay away. The stock is doing really nothing at all. 140 to 175. Wait for it to break out, and then it will jump quickly to 200 rupees. 2 years of consolidation going on this stock. Tech Mahindra, I think that's in Nifty, right? I don't know why it's still here, but anyhow in my list. 3000 psychological mark, sort of resistance, could come to 2700, and then we would review. Titan, interesting. So I wonder where the next phase of growth for Titan is coming from, but clearly stuck at that 440 zone, and one day it'll probably just shoot up and go to 475, 500. You want to put an alert for that and watch out for what could happen there. Torrent Power, 190. This is really interesting. If I were to put trend lines, this would be sort of one trend line here, and that would be maybe another extreme trend line there. Looking now like an ascending triangle, right? And yeah, if you look at it, all the up moves here, so I'm talking about this place here, one big move, and here has happened on good volumes, and the sideways or down moves have happened on relatively lower volumes. So this is consolidating, and the biggest measuring implication could even be that I wouldn't take it that far back, but just extrapolating backwards. Okay, I know it's becoming a cluttered chart. I wouldn't take it from here, but just to be conservative, from 175 to 125, 50 bucks, you're talking about a potential measuring implication on the upside of 175 plus 50, 225. That's a good 30-35%. And yeah, this could be in the works, that's for sure. Could test your patience. But now, you zoom out, it's looking more a little bit like a wedge. But you zoom in, it's looking a little bit more like an ascending triangle. So take your pick. A lot of support on the downside all the way till 160, even till 150. But once it breaks that 180 part, then 200, 225 is easily happening. UBL, United Breweries, again a sort of multi-year level, 2013, nothing significant, nothing like a 11-year thing in Ranbaxy, but big move from 700 to 1000, and this, I think, it's just a question of the market getting used to this stock at being 1000 rupees, and once 950 breaks down, sorry, takes support, and or rather 1050 breaks out, easily 1250 is next. Union Bank, weak. I'll put this in the list of Canara Bank. Okay, so right, potential shorts all depends on the budget, I think. Now here is a potential flag, downtrend flag, which could be happening. 250 to 175, that's 75 rupees. If 75 rupee, that's a 75 rupee measuring implication. If this goes, could this stock go all the way to 100 bucks? Why not? Right? So if that goes, then of course 150 would be the first target, or even 160 to be a little conservative, and then even 100. So 175. This could definitely be a downtrend flag in retrospect, except that the sort of low volumes we want is not. Actually, it's there. So it fell on higher volumes there, and then it's sort of consolidated here. Small increase in volume on a green candle here. You're looking at potential strength happening on the indicators and all, but it's a little premature. Buying Union Bank till it crosses 210 is fraught with risk, but if it breaks 170, you should immediately short it till at least 155, 150 with a stop loss at 179. United Phosphorus, forget it. UPL, that was the old chart. So UPL making new life highs, 450. I would say it's getting set to go to 400, in my opinion. Okay. Then Yes Bank. Okay, so I put UPL here. Yes Bank on the buy list. Oh, talking about banks, remember once the budget is out, then RBI will have some sense of what the government is up to, and the next RBI policy will be interesting to watch thereafter. I think Yes Bank options should have some decent liquidity, and you could look at writing the 900 call and the 750 put short straddle for the coming week. Z Limited, so has come to 350. All right, from 390. I'd say stay away from this for now, and then we will see. That's it. I think we've come to the end. Yes, that's all the Nifty Junior stocks, and pretty good actually. We've got a list of shorting for opportunities once the budget is over, and then a good set of buy that you can actually do irrespective of the budget. I think things like Glenmark, JSW Steel, and Ranbaxy, right? So Bobby has put up another list or email, link. Go for defense, the likely hotspot for multi-baggers, according to this guy called Kshitij Anand. Right. So yeah, sure, we could look at that and expedite orders worth $155 billion in the next 2 to 3 years. That is huge, right? And then there's something here about transport reforms. Well, let's see how that could pan out. Right. So okay. So here's a quick list of some top bets. L&T, Bharat Forge, Vipava Defense, Bharat Electronics, Astro Microwaves, Walchand Nagar Industries, and yeah, that's it. So if you just focused on this, then maybe we've got a big thing running there. And the other thing is, it's not just, for example, not just defense. A lot of these will have multiple factors contributing to it. If you look at L&T, it's not only defense, it's also capital goods, infrastructure, and to some extent reality that you can all look at, right? Okay. So okay, so there's something to discuss in detail. I think Valki had some requests, right? Okay, so let's look at a few stocks before we wind up for today. There is, one second. All right, so you should be able to see Oro Pharma on your screen. Request by Balki. So it's hit 1200 and has clearly corrected in the last few days, and looks like it's done that on big volume. So I would say get out of Oro Pharma. Looks like something happened on that, and the best days are over, at least in the short term. And if you're sitting on profits, then I would say take them. Having said that, if you're still holding on to it, you could have a stop loss as low as 900, and that's where the 200-day moving average would break. But technically, till it breaks above 1100 at this point, or this downtrend line, I would not be looking to buy. And you can see the big increase in volumes. The indicators are showing weakness. So that's my view on Oro Pharma. Motherson Sumi. So attempted to make a life high yesterday, which it did on a closing basis, and did that on decent volumes. Came down today on little lower volumes. I think the real challenge for Motherson Sumi is 500 rupees. How does it deal with that barrier? And once it's able to do that, then we probably see it go higher, in my opinion. This would be the uptrend line to watch. So in a sense, it's got a tweezer stop now. For 90 breaks, goes to 500, then you probably see the next up move on Motherson Sumi, in my opinion. Just let's look at the volumes. Nothing spectacular. I think last September, October is when the big volumes happened. And if you take the long-term chart now, so from 2013, gone on pretty sharp up move from 150 to 450, and now you can see that it's now going up at a less steep angle. Sign of maturity, but I would not say any selling to be done. Could be accumulating at lower levels, consolidating, and then could go up. Might take a few weeks or months. Okay, Sadbhav Engineering. What happened to our favorite, not favorite? We keep looking at it, Arvind. A demerger thing. So Arvind is back up. I'm quite sure once it breaks 350, it could go higher. Yep, technically strength is clearly there. SAD. Okay, I hope this is Sadbhav. Is this chart 350? Is that the one? Bobby. So making new life highs. So once it crosses that, then yep. Seems to have gotten a little tired now, the stock. But the volumes are clearly there. Maybe some sort of distribution happening or profit booking that's going on. but 280 would be a really good place to buy it in case it comes to that price. But right now I think it's consolidating at that level of around 300, 320, and once it breaks out of that, it could probably go much higher. But this dragonfly doji, quite a long one, a big range, high low of for 30 bucks, 10%. That's a little bit of a concern. Big volumes, so some buying, some selling, fight going on till it resolves. But I think technically once 350 is gone, then 400 is easily on the cards for this stock. All right, VA Tech Bag. VA. What's the any other name it has, or what's the symbol in NSE? Does anyone know? Tech. All right. So, well, 2014 500 rupee stock is now 1800 rupee stock. You see all these stocks which are non-index stocks, and you wonder why we waste time looking at index stocks. Then yeah. Okay, so 1500, fantastic support.
I just want to just
go ahead.
Before I forget, there's a lot of this Swachh Bharat, no?
Yeah.
So I will actually keep track of some of the key reforms. Some have been waiting for a long time. It's from the Congress era.
Okay.
Like the power stuff and all, I don't think it'll ever get done. But if it does, we'll have to keep an eye on it. But there are some the Modi effect in terms of sentiment. No.
Yeah.
I feel this Clean India thing. Keep an eye out.
Okay.
It'll be a good because there won't be too many of these also.
Right.
To waste recycling and all.
Sure. Okay.
And the other thing is a lot of this green energy and recycling things are global trends.
Okay.
So India will probably end up being a part of it. Like vehicle emissions, no? I told you, remember last time. So it's a global thing, and if since India is becoming an auto hub, it will affect the way they make cars, because eventually a lot of the vehicles is planned to be made in India and exported.
Okay. So okay, fine. That's a good news. Okay.
This green thing has to be kept an eye on.
Okay. Done. Okay. So this company is involved in that, water processing or something, or clean technologies.
This is yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
There are multiple projects.
All right. Super. So this has been consolidating from September onwards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, and I think ready to break out technically. And again, if you look at the volumes, you see here going up on good volumes, going up there on good volumes, and the consolidation relatively low volumes. Something definitely happened here, some news or maybe just a market breakdown, and recovered quite nicely from that. Nice base made, and I would say easily another 250 point up move. 2000 rupees would be the next target I would look at on this company. Right? Cool, great. So shall we wind up for tonight here? So we can add this also. We tech bag. And what was the other one we just did before this?
Adani Power.
Adani Power.
Adani Power.
Yeah, okay. Adani Power. And power and ports, right? Both. In Adani Enterprises.
No, we didn't see power. We saw Adani Enterprise, Adani Ports. Now I'm asking for Adani Power.
Okay. Ports was there. We want to look at Adani Power. So that was a stock I think I discussed in that session we did on the 6th, right? With Investor. And I spoke about
yes.
that head and shoulder massive one. So let's mark that out here. So in a sense, that is your really big level to watch out for. Massive. Okay. That's your. Okay, so this would be a sort of complex. So actually, you can see many here. There's a left head here, left shoulder, head, right head, but didn't break out. And I would say there's a left double head here, big complex from 2012, 2013, 2013, 14 made a massive head, and then this is the right shoulder being still in the works. And I would say the first target is 60, 65, right? So where was the stock when we discussed it last? I don't remember. Where was it? I think 6, somewhere there was it? I don't remember. But clearly you can see good volumes on the way up, correction happened on low volumes, and then now it's going up back on good volumes. And I had had 2 recommendations on this. One, just buy it on your spot portfolio and just hold on to it for the next 6 months, 1 year. And I think it's playing along just fine. You'll probably see maybe 1 or 2 more corrections like this till it comes to 65, maybe another one back to 50, psychological mark. So let's put a level there. All right, and then back to 60, 65, another correction, goes back about 70, and then test your patience. So that was one thing. And the other thing, of course, was to say that those who have the long-term conviction and the stomach for mark-to-market, think about taking a futures position and just roll over, just keep riding it. Again, since we're talking about power, reforms, coal, and Adani being close to Modi, all favor, I think goes fundamentally well for this company. So my view is buy at every opportunity, at every dip, accumulate more. Anything else? Done? Yep. Okay, great. Okay, so really good, I think. Let's add that also. Adani Power. So these are the things to really look at. We have found a lot of good stocks which could be part of your portfolio. Right? So think about it and make some money. There's some trades on this you can actually look at doing on Monday itself. So yeah, so thank you for your participation, and as usual we'll have the recording up hopefully by tomorrow afternoon, and I'll send out the links to everyone to watch again. Right? So good, have a great weekend, thank you and good night.